This was the circuit in question in microcap that I was able to create a surge only to have it repressed. And it's a variation on Eric Dollard's LMD module, is analog computer in LMD mode, because I have capacitors in series and I have inductors in parallel. Only at the ends do I tie it off with the capacitor at either end. And although microcap required me to ground it in various places, it didn't pose a problem per se. The problem came about when I ran it. It created noise, and the simulator didn't like that. Now if you look over on the left-hand side, nothing much is happening, but if we zoom in, this is hundreds between 134 and 216 microseconds. If we zoom in, well, this is actually zooming out. No. Right. So this is zooming in, and what happens is you get this surge, and then it dies out, and it's a nice clean sine wave, and everything is hunky-dory. But then, let's see, what was this? Oh, this is a longer stretch. I can't remember. This is later on, I think. But it's even Steven. Yeah, nothing much happens. But here what happens is the surge develops and then all of a sudden explodes into noise, and then it gets suppressed over here. And I think it's the noise that microcap didn't like, the explosion of noise. Because everything I'm doing nowadays is not like this at all. It's very well organized, very methodical, like a symphony orchestra. Everybody plays in tune and keeps with the beat, but this circuit doesn't allow that to happen. And this is the one that I used also in LT-Spice and created the humongous explosion that was up like E plus 50 or something, and I couldn't study it. And this is all I had to work with in the beginning. I started with Eric Dollard's model and in Paul Falstad's simulator, and that's all I had to work with. Only later did I get the decoupling capacitor model from Wikipedia article to study in LT-Spice, and then I started to get somewhere because it wasn't so extreme. So this is it is a derivative of what I call of Bewley's archetype, which is extremely explosive. You get a lot of energy, but you can't manage it. You just get a big explosion. And so it's useless, but at least it was something to start with, to get my feet wet, so to speak. So, oh yeah, I can create a surge, and I can create an explosion of energy, and it doesn't die out. It's not at all, well, it's certainly not like that. That's like a flashlight circuit concept. And it's also not like that, because this is the whole nature of the word transient, is that it's short-lived, it's brief. But my simulations don't work that way anymore. If you turn this thing around, that's more or less what my surges are these days. Not quite like that, not as pretty, but they go in the opposite direction. What can I say? So, a little play there with orientation. Anyway, I think I've made my point, right? So, I will now shut up.